There's, okay. Well, so welcome to our Associates Exhibition Zoom reception for 2021. We did our first Zoom reception a year ago in the summer for the Associates show at that time, and here we are, and we're hoping that this in the future we'll be able to do more of maybe a hybrid. Maybe we'll still offer the Zoom option because it's nice to welcome in those who are far and wide. Catherine, who's in Pennsylvania, Rosemary's down in Carlsbad, and just people from all over. We like the fact that Zoom extends our reach, but we are missing being together in person as well. And I wanted to mention that last Friday night, we did have a small meet and greet with Dr. Carol Francis and the healthcare heroes portraits that are in our lounge. So if you haven't had a chance to see that yet, I'd invite you to make an appointment to come on in and see that. That's really a nice tribute. But we're here today to celebrate all of our associates, and our associates are such an important part of what we do at Destination Art. Of course, we are very indebted to our studio artists and gallery artists who are participate all year round, and the associates participate all year round in many ways. And then we like to feature their art once a year. This year it's for 6 weeks instead of for a month, so we're really hoping to celebrate that. And we have some surprises in store today, but first I just wanted to kind of give you a state of the studio. And the state of the studio is strong, I'm going to say. But during the pandemic, we made the transition successfully, I think, from mostly in person to then having to be all online, and back and forth and learning new ways of doing things. We've added some new technology in the studio, so we hope to do these hybrid classes. We've been pretty successful with that, of having some people in studio and the rest of them on Zoom. So we're kind of in a transition time where we're learning to come back together. But I wanted to just talk about how important it is for us to be together. Sometimes we've made do with being on Zoom all year long, but it's really important for us to be together in person. And I think that was highlighted this week because as many of you know, we lost a valuable member of our art community this week in the passing of Fran Nichols. Yeah. And that was just such a sad thing for us, that because she just did her first Zoom workshop for us a couple of months ago. Yeah. And now she's no longer with us. But that just highlighted, I think, for Robin and me and for the rest of us, just how important it is to cherish those times together and to paint together with our friends. And we're looking forward to more of that in the coming year. We have our first in-person only, no Zoom option coming starting June 3rd as we resume Frank Menudo workshops on Thursday afternoons. So look for more in-person things, but we will keep the Zoom option, like we said, for reaching our members who are far and wide across the country, and we enjoy that so much. I wanted to start by giving some thank yous to people who were so helpful. First of all, to Robin Johns, who really rallied all of you, the associates, and got them all registered for the show and orchestrated the take-in and the hanging and everything. And we're so thankful for Robin. Robin Kirk and Carol Sutton were so helpful in getting the labeling done and preparing the walls of the studio. We really appreciate that. Diane Reeves and Betsy Miller were the key people for the take-in. They were there manning the take-in procedures. And then I wanted to thank Terry Harkins and Doug Castleman, who really helped Robin with the curating and hanging the show. And of course, Dennis Sullivan, who does a lot of our website and MailChimp things. Even from Phoenix, he helps us on the website still. So that's very wonderful that he continues to stay involved. I wanted to start, we have also hired a few people this year. We have a videographer and we have a technical assistant. And so I want to show you first, if we can, the video that, because I know most of you haven't been able to see the show since it's been hung. So I want to show you this video.
Welcome to Destination Art and the Associate Member Art Exhibition of 2021. This show represents artwork by 39 of our associate members and a total of 78 pieces. The exhibit shows the diversity of our artists, covering all mediums, themes, and the range of skill set from our artists who are just beginning their journey to our most experienced. All are welcome. This show is available to see online or in person by making an appointment. Go to our website, destination-art.net, to send an email request. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Robin to.
All right. Hey, everybody, my friends and associate members and artists all together in one fell swoop. So I just wanted to say I'm going to be a little redundant because I had that voiceover in the video you just watched too. So some of what I might say might have been in the film. But it has been an interesting year, as we can all attest. Last year's show was online only, and this year we're back in the physical gallery as well as online. So to give you some stats for the show this year, which is very exciting, we actually have 39 artists in the show. And I was worried early on when we started the registration, as many of you know, I was like biting my fingernails, but it was so wonderful. We reached out to everybody, mostly on our roster, and we had all of you support us and sign up. And it's so exciting to see all your paintings. There were 78 paintings in this show. That is one of the records for me to physically hang. So good on you. There are 2 categories for the judging purposes. We have established and emerging. And as you know, the artists were asked to self-select when entering their pieces. Every medium, size, theme you can imagine, from photography, pastel, oil, mixed media, and more, are represented in the show. And it also, as I said, represents the true diversity of our associate artists and how we are all evolving on our artist journey. So it's very exciting to come in. By the way, the video doesn't show all of the paintings. So if you didn't see yours, don't worry. Sorry about that. Come in and see the show in person. It's better in person. So now we're going to move on to the awards. Dun, 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 dun. I would like to introduce our judge for the associate show this year, Desmond O'Hagan. We're very fortunate to have Desmond as our judge. And I want to give you a little background on Desmond. He has worked in watercolor, acrylics, charcoal, pen and ink, and monotypes, but his primary focus is oils and pastel. He's an award-winning artist whose paintings hang in numerous private and public collections and galleries around the world. I'd really like to thank Desmond for being such a great friend and supporter to Destination Art and the whole South Bay artist community throughout the years. We cherish our connection to him. And now, without further ado, I would like to welcome Desmond and the awards for the year's exhibition. Take it away.
Thank you, Robin. I truly appreciate everyone or the Destination Art inviting me to be the judge for the show. It's a great show. And it was really nice seeing the video because I was able to kind of get a better feel for the sizes, the paintings, because I'm looking at just the little small ones on my iPad. And but what a great show, tremendous variety in it. And as what you had mentioned, I also cherish our connection with Destination Art. I've been out there several times for workshops, and we just completed a 2-day online workshop just a little while back, and that went just great. So I was really very happy with the enthusiasm. So Robin, I think when we talked earlier, you were saying that you'd be able to flash the paintings up on.
Yeah. That's Margaret's responsibility.
And we'll see if I'm better at it than before.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm going to read. What we're going to do is we're going to read the honorable mentions first, and then we'll go into the first, second, and third, starting with third for the emerging, and then we'll do the second and first for the established artists. So the first one we'll start off with is Francis Nichols, and this is Fading Light, and in the honorable mention. And I'd like to say something about each of the paintings that I picked. As mentioned earlier, it was a tremendous variety for this show. So that makes my job harder because there's so much skill level here that I really wanted to. I was emailing Robin earlier in the week, and I said, you know, I picked what I picked, but I wanted to gel a little bit so I can kind of live with the show and really be sure of what I felt really stood out. So this was one of them. I mean, it's some great color in there. You really feel that contrast, those darks and lights, and the sparkle of the water. So very successful piece.
And of course, this is Fran, who we lost this week. And so we're so glad that she got an award.
And by the way, I did text her at the hospital to let her know. Hopefully she was able to understand that message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one is Mike Ishikawa, Ready to Go, an honorable mention. What really stood out for me on this piece is the power of the strokes. He's really very bold and direct. He put those strokes down and just moved on. And there wasn't a lot of, there's no overworking. It's just very confident and a lot of good strength in his execution of pastels. Okay, the next one, Joanne Goodman, Enlightenment.
Yay.
Woohoo.
So this is the third honorable mention. Texture, color, all of that plays a part in this painting. It really comes together. And I kept being drawn back to this painting. So it was very deserving of an award. And I love her warm and cool colors and how she works those together in the painting. Okay. Bubbles, and this is Sharon Goldstone. It's just a very unique painting. I mean, you just come back to it. And when I teach workshops, I talk about developing a unique vision. And that's one of the things that I'm seeing in many of these paintings is that you have to take a second look. You want to know more. And that's why this one I feel really stood out. Catherine Bergstrom, Rock Quarry.
Mm-hmm.
Honorable mention. I think this has got lots of really interesting things going on. Immediately brought up German abstract expressionists to me. And I just love the big solid shapes. And I like her blend of the warm and cool colors once again. But this it's a landscape, but this basically is an abstract. And I like the way that she was using these big, bold shapes to bring this painting together. But I mean, this could be 1920s, Germany, art exhibit, very avant-garde. Okay,
Thank you, Desmond.
you're welcome. Okay, Bob Barrett, tumbleweed and homeless person. Just the way he breaks it up into these thirds is really, I found very interesting for this photography. I'm a real fan of black and white photography, and I felt this one really brings you in, especially with the figure in the upper right side. I just really like the way that was composed. I guess composition is what really kind of excited me about this piece. So just a really strong photographic image. Okay. Emerging artists. Third place, Lynn Attig. Sorry, messed that up for a second. Middleton Plantation Sheep. Just really strong darks and lights in here. I just love that. Lots of varying texture, but you really feel like you're there. And I love how it starts out dark at the bottom and moves up into the light. So it's a very, very strong piece.
Thank you, Desmond.
Oh, you're welcome. It's really nice.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to get my list back up on my iPad here. Okay. Next one is Jane Hilton, Sunbathers. This is second place in the emerging artists. Another one of the concepts I like to get across in workshops is simplify those shapes. And this really captures that really well. Another representational piece that has tremendous abstract qualities to it. And I think that this one really stands out. And this is actually, it's concentrating on something that you out there see probably every day you go to the beach. So maybe it's more unique to me since I'm landlocked, but I love the composition of this. Just a very abstract quality to it, and solid colors, solid shapes, good warms and cools all the way through. Okay, the next one is first place, Trisha Alexander, Almost Shirt Sleeve Weather. I really like this piece. This one just brought a lot of emotion to the canvas. This is really a really strong piece. Her use of colors, the warm and cools, the subdued background, the emphasis on the child's face, all of that. And of course, the eyes. The eyes are what really capture you and capture this painting, or captures the viewers to see, looking at this painting. This really kind of transcends another level, I think, because it has such an interesting narrative to it. So it's creating a story, and I thought that was really interesting.
Good job.
Okay, so established artists. Second place, Bernard Fallen, Dawn at Tuvalu Rock. I think this painting is so strong, especially how he's capturing those warm and cool colors at dawn. I mean, just the subtlety of the color, the little bits of pinks on the edge of the cliff. And once again, this is a very abstract approach to a representational painting. And the colors he's bringing out in this scene, are so fleeting. They're only going to be around for a few minutes. So to get them down on canvas, or, to do a sketch of that and really capture the mood. It's very rich, which I think is neat. And I've seen these scenes when I'm out in California. So I hope that's where this is.
You've seen these scenes?
I've seen these scenes. Yeah. And this is is Tuvalu Rock, is that in California?
Yes.
Okay.
Bernard, I'm answering for you, but.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because I early in the morning, when I've been walking around and on the beach there, and you can just feel that vividness of color, and he's really captured that for me. Okay, so first place in these.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Debbie
Woo!
Abshir, Lunar Black. This one just there's so many abstract qualities to this painting, and I love the lost and found edges. It's a tremendous depth and distance in this painting, and but has this effortless quality in the strokes. And I think that that's such an important point, that where you put those strokes down and you move on, and there's not a lot of overworking, and you let your eyes, the viewer's eye, make up some of that detail, and everybody, you'll see something slightly different in the painting like this. So very, very strong, well executed, done with a lot of confidence.
Thank you.
Mm.
Appreciate
All
it.
right, let's give a
Yay.
big applause to our
yay.
award winners and for everybody, because everybody's painting, I have to say, I don't know how you made these choices, Desmond, because there were so many spectacular paintings.
There were some terrific paintings in that show. So, I mean, and it's a very difficult job, because I'm really going with what really grabs me and what pulls me back. And I look at them several times before I kind of make my decision. And then I second guess. So, I mean, it's a constant, it's a process. But I work it out. So I do spend a lot of time with each painting when I'm judging. So,
Well, we really appreciate the time you took. And for the award winners, your cash money will be going out in the next week, along with your certificate. We're sending certificates this year instead of ribbons. I hope that's okay. So
Mhm.
congratulations to
thank you.
everybody.
Thank you
Yes,
so much,
yay,
Desmond.
congratulations,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
And congratulations
Thank
to
you.
everyone, to everyone.
Great to see you.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Desmond. Okay, now we're going to try some more film clips.
Can I preface that while you're
Yes,
booting
please
things
do.
up? This idea was the inspiration of Bridget Duffy, so I'm going to give her credit for this, although probably other people have mentioned it to me before as well, that everyone is sort of curious about the art that people hang in their homes and how they curate their art in their homes. So with that idea in mind, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to take some tours, some home tours? And I want to tell you that these were absolutely random choices for me, even though 2 people actually got awards this in the show, but and all 3 have won lots of awards. It just was coincidence. So anyway, it was very fun to actually take these tours. I hope you enjoy them. They're very short little clips, but I think you'll get a sense by watching these little iMovies, the feeling of how diverse, again, people design and curate their art within their own home.
Hi, I'm Kathy Bergstrom, and I want to welcome you to my house and to my mixture of pieces of art that I either did myself or I collected in my travels or have been done by good art friends. And so I understand the camera is going to move around as you look at the living room. My son has called this the room of eye candy. And maybe he's right, because it is a collection, a loving collection from over the years. And it includes the house itself, because there's stained glass windows that were done by the former owner and a friend. And it makes me very happy to sit in this space and just look at all that is on the walls. Reminisce. And when you get to my age, you do a lot of reminiscing more than making the memories. So I hope you have enjoyed this brief visit into my space. Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about just one corner of the room here, beginning with the stained glass window that was done by the person we bought the house from, Stu Linder, who was a famous film editor and did Rain Man for one. And the painting of the woman is Beatrice Carboul, a famous French painter, a very somber painting of hers. And beneath it, my mother-in-law, who was a French milliner, did that sketch of one of her hats. And she was a milliner in France. And desk is the one that I am or do have in the associate show, then boy, we're on a French kick here. Anyway, it's an ossuary chapel in a place called Epping, France. And what I like when I think about it, how this represents my travels, my relatives, my friends, and what I perceive to be good art.
The next one now.
Yeah, I think the next one's gonna be Bobby Davison. There is just music for this one with Bobby because it was garbage day and the dogs were going wild with the garbage collectors. So, but this house is beautiful and speaks for itself. Woohoo!
Nice.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Bobby's house with the
That was
flower outside. And then you walk in, this incredible collection of Japanese ceramics, you name it. It's just amazing. And the orchids, everything is just gorgeous. That's our Bobby.
Thank you. David, did you see the dog?
I had to include Ari and Annie, of course, for those of you who know Bobby. They're her pets, but very close indeed. So,
Yeah, I had to call
Beautiful.
Shirley because we love Airedales.
all right. And now we have Trisha.
Hello, I'm Trisha Alexander, and I want to welcome you to my home to see some of my artwork. So what we're standing in right now is my portrait gallery. So these are paintings that I've done. I specialize in portraits, and the series on the wall that's being filmed at the moment is some with dancers and with musicians. And I called this the Capture the Rapture series, trying to get that sublime moment when artists are in the middle of their zone, shall we say. Okay, on this wall we have some paintings, actually drawings that I did a long time ago. I started really drawing and doodling when I was a teenager and in my 20s, but not very seriously. And so these are kind of before any art training. And then this painting and that painting are after very intensive training in a particular kind of wet on wet painting. So we take great pains to keep all the paint wet so that it can be blended together. So this one has just texture in the child's hair and a little bit of texture in the water, but other than that, it's on a very smooth board so that we can get that porcelain kind of skin on the little kiddo. Okay, now I'm going to take you into my bedroom and I want to show you a couple of paintings by other artists. So what we've got here is one by Christopher L. Cook. He was my first painting teacher. He has kind of an expressionist style and is a magnificent landscape artist. Does a lot of plein air painting and teaches plein air classes as well. So he was the guy who introduced me to plein air painting. And that's something that I usually just do for fun with company. So I really specialize in portraits. And then right here we have a Kwang Ho painting that my sweetie gave me for my birthday. So that's one that I saw at a show in Pasadena done by the Adams, and it was my favorite painting in the whole show. So Christopher L. Cook painting. This one is called Desert Empathy, and Christopher did a study of it out in the desert and then came home, and he likes a lot of color, so he's a real master with color technique and color theory. And so the desert wasn't quite this colorful when he saw it, but I like what he did with it. And on this wall, one of our newest paintings is by Caleb Goldberg, who's a Montana artist. We found this in the Art Institute at Borrego Springs, and it's a painting of the Grand Canyon. I fell in love with it. The next one is a study of card players by Warren Chang, which we found at the American Legacy Gallery in Pasadena. That's where I also became familiar with Steve Curry's work. So this is a painting by Steve Curry, also from American Legacy. And then above it is a painting I just accidentally found at a show where I was in the show, but I love this one by another artist. This is a Japanese factory, a pottery factory. And then finally this last one is also something that we found at the Art Institute at Borrego Springs, and it's of a local canyon called Coyote Canyon by an artist named Tony Williams.
I want to thank the 3 homeowners for allowing me in to take the videos. And you can tell that I am not a trained videographer. And you may have noticed my squeaking shoes quite often on the floor when I was in Trisha's house. So the sound effects were there for your enjoyment. Anyway, thank you all. And I just want to say it's so exciting to go into someone's home and see their collections and hear them talk about their art as well. So, and everyone had a different take on explaining how they pick their art, where their art comes from, how they curate it, and so on. So thank you, everybody. I hope that was a little fun. And Margaret, thank you for going through the tedious part of trying to get that up.
I'm sorry.
No, you did a great job. That wasn't easy. So let's see, where are we now? All right, it's my turn. Again, as usual, I seem to hog these things a little bit. I now want to introduce one of our newest instructors. She hasn't instructed yet, but she's coming to instruct. And that would be Liz Walker, who's joined us today from Oregon. A few things about Liz. Watercolor was Liz's first medium of choice. And since 2005, she's painted mainly in acrylics and acrylic marbling. Her paintings have been exhibited both locally and nationally and have won numerous awards. She will be offering a Zoom class a DA called Start to Finish, Designing a Layered Painting in Water Media. Many of you know her, but for those of you who don't, here is Liz Walker to say hi and to say a few words. Hey, Liz. Uh-oh.
Hey, now I'm unmuted. You probably see a little bit of marbling paper behind me. I create, I don't know, hundreds of marbled papers every year, but I'm excited to come and teach, or to teach virtually via Zoom. Perhaps someday I will come. And when I do come, I'm going to stay with Bobby because she promised me a room at her house. And now that I've seen it, I see there's room for me. As Robin said, watercolor was my first big foray back into art making. I was an art major in college, and we used to do those big abstract paintings on canvas and that sort of thing in the late 70s. And then I was a technical writer for about 10 years and finally rediscovered art, as many of you probably did, through a community education class in watercolor. And I painted 100 watercolor paintings in my first year because I realized there's no other way to get good at this thing than to do it a lot. So I do paint almost every day. I have a huge stack of paintings in my garage, but I will tell you that one of the things about this workshop that I think you'll find intriguing, if you're like me, you've probably painted some paintings you're not crazy about, and I hope you didn't throw them away, because if you bring them to this workshop, we're going to paint on top and repurpose them completely. Now, for those of you who don't have old paintings that you want to repurpose, we'll also get you started getting those beautiful luminous acrylic starts on your paper. But I think there's many experienced painters in this group, I can tell. And so I hope that you, like me, save those little paintings that didn't work out so well. I kind of think of it like Sleeping Beauty. You're kind of reviving those. You're going back to them maybe years later and awakening them from their sleep and saying, hey, I can make you better because I know what I'm doing now. I used to give up on paintings way too early. And I think that's a common thing that artists do. And I'm going to show you in this class how to barrel on through and some real simple compositional techniques to bring those paintings to a completion and not give up too early, as we all are wont to do.
Great.
All right. And so now I just want to open up the floor to anyone who want to have any comments or congratulations to all of the winners, and in fact to all of you who came in and brought your paintings. What a wonderful thing to be able to bring in paintings this year. So with that, I think that's the end of our prepared remarks, and I'll just open the floor to anyone who wants to chat or say hi.
I just want to thank you, Margaret And Robin and everybody who was involved in the show. I can't wait to go see it in person, but you guys have just been working tirelessly all during the pandemic and before, and keeping art alive for all of us. And I'm going to miss Fran. I know we're all going to miss Fran, but I think that light that she lit for a lot of us is going to keep on going, and DA is going to keep holding that torch. So thank you so much. And thank you to Desmond also for the award. And I think the art that I saw was fantastic, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.
Thanks, Lynn.
Beautifully said, Lynn.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody else want to unmute and say something?
Bernard,
Sure.
go ahead. Did you want to say something?
Yes, obviously it's quite a coincidence, to have a member pass away, and that's obviously been expressed. But she leaves behind a great body of work, and I think that's the important thing. Is that it takes us years, and we put the paintings aside, but there's always a spark that leads to the next painting. And Liz has said, don't throw them away, but do put the date on them. I think that's important, because you can be shocked by your sudden progress over 30 years or 50 years. It's like suddenly you're an overnight success to yourself. And but I've been lucky enough to have been drawing and painting since I was in convent school, and drawing and painting was always encouraged. And even today there's excitement, and for Robin to call and say, put something into the show or else. It is nice to be dragged in, but I have to say, thank you for the very professional method that you've put everything up, and the way the show's hung, and then how you've presented it online here today. I mean, there's always going to be glitches. It's like watercolor, for heaven's sake. You've got to roll with the drips. And
Thank you, Bernard. I'll remember that next time.
Oh,
It's like
roll with
watercolor
drips.
paint.
Margaret, one more. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and also thank you to for choosing Desmond, because he's obviously a very eclectic artist, and I really appreciate the award. Thank you.
Margaret, one more thing. I think we would be remiss if we didn't also tell everybody who doesn't know that Carol Kearns passed away as well this week, one of our Pastel Society board members at PSSC, in a tragic car crash in Palos Verdes. So please keep her family, her husband Joe, and family in your prayers as well. And again, keep on creating art, because you just don't know when your last painting is going to be the one. So keep going, everybody. Keep painting, because I feel like you can live on in your art, and people can put it on their walls forever. And the beautiful homes that we saw, I don't know if even all of those artists are still alive, but they might be around for hundreds of years through that. So anyway, I just want to share that sad news.
Thank you. Is there any service?
Say thank you too for the opportunity of getting back into a show. I haven't entered anything for a year and a half. I didn't feel it. I created, but I didn't feel like showing anything. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, Dave, for the award.
I just want to also,
Go ahead.
Well, I was also going to mention that not to take away from our associates, but our next show is going to be with the experimental artists of the South Bay, who have been meeting at Destination Art for since we began, but they've never actually had a show there. So that's going to be coming up, and a tribute to another artist. We lost Gloria Lee. So this is I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, that I think it's good for us as a community to value these people and to value their art, and continue to, as everyone has said, we need to paint with our friends, and continue the legacy.
Thank you. And thank you, Desmond, and everybody, particularly you two beautiful ladies who put in so much time to keep us honest. Thank you.
I also wanted to say, I know that like everyone's asking about Fran again and about what are we doing? It's still kind of undetermined because we're waiting for the family to sort of get a handle on their affairs. But we know even Fran herself was reaching out to us earlier in the week about her plans. And so we will definitely be honoring Fran as best we can later on. We'll be working on something together, hopefully with the family, and we'll pay tribute to her. Her 2 paintings are already gone. They're sold, the ones that are in the show. I know that people were asking about that, but we hope to have more available so that people can have a piece of Fran. If you don't already have one of her paintings in your home, we hope to have that, some options for you down the road.
Okay, so everyone, I want you to go out and paint and enjoy painting. And the next time we're together, we are going to just enjoy each other. So, and more in person to come. Thank you all for joining us today.
What a wonderful group you all are.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful group.
And Robin for making this.
So good to see everybody.
Yes.
Yes, hello, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for everyone for being a part of us and helping.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the winners.
Congratulations to everyone.
And those of you who are in the show who put your art up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great.
Are those?
I got in for the goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Super show. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Margaret,
Yes.
I have a thought.
Okay.
As everyone's getting older, obviously, we're all going to pass away, but maybe in honor of some of the artists of the South Bay who have passed away, is there an opportunity perhaps to do a retrospective?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we want to do for Fran, for sure, because she was at our facility, every month for quite a while. And so we want to do that for Fran. And we're looking into what to do about that, but that maybe we can have a wall that's dedicated to that and put up a piece of all. But in some ways, it's like, I don't know. I feel like even today it got a little heavy here,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to talk about it, but yes, we would like to do something to honor those who have made such a contribution to the South Bay art community. And I think if we have a permanent wall, but since the beginning of the pandemic, we've lost now four artists that were involved with us, and it's rough. And as we age, it's going to so.
Yeah, well, it's just a thought of this.
Yeah, well, we'll do something. And then there was opportunity for one-person shows, like we did Dave earlier. Well, Dave we did because he was moving away. And then Mike we did because he wanted to raise money for his charity, one of his charities, as well as for Destination Art. But we could, I think it's in some ways much better to honor them before they die.
Yes.
If you tell us when you're going to die, we'll put on a show for you. Okay.
That's why we're hoping to maybe talk Al Hagan into it, or somebody's got. Well, we know lots of people who have lots of paintings, so we would like to do some one-person or maybe two-person shows to honor those who have that body of work and to honor that contribution. So. More to come as we kind of figure that out. But yeah, thank you for that.
How are you doing, Bob? Your congratulations on your award.
Well, thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you to both of you, Margaret and Robin, and for everybody who helped on the take-in, and obviously to Desmond. You know, it was just a very nice show, and it was nice to be included. I'm glad you strong-armed me into joining the show. Thank you, Robin.
Why do you keep saying that? Why does everybody say that?
Because that's what you did.
You're a very good persuader, Robin.
Yes.
Well, and Bernard, I wanted to say thank you for saying that you liked how it was hung, because we have that well, we always do that for the associate show, but now when we have the gallery artists, we hang them in more of a curated manner rather than having the individual sections of the person by name. And I think it makes it much more beautiful as a cohesive show. So I really appreciate you saying that and noticing that.
Thank you. It takes a lot more work.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
It's more vibrant, because if you have similar work all together, you tend to scan and it's over. But the way you hung it is, you know, you've obviously centralized each wall, and then what goes around it is part of that decision-making process, and it has an effect. It has
a nice flow to it. It has a beautiful flow. Bob, you did an awesome job.
Thanks, Bridget.
Yeah, if you haven't come in to see it, come on in, because it is nicely hung and makes, I think, the pieces stand out very nicely.
Yeah, and I think that the portraits in the lounge is really worthwhile looking at.
Yeah. Well, that was neat, because we had the mayor there, and Heidi, who joined us here just briefly at the end, one of the city council members. They were, and I think it was just a nice way to get the community back and say, hey, art's important. Let's keep going. So.
Art reflects life.
Yeah.
We had such a life this last year.
Especially if you put museum glass over it, it really does reflect well.
Oh my.
I would like to throw out a couple of words for Robin and the videos that she did. They were beautiful.
Yeah.
And I, in particular, loved the squeaking shoes. I thought that was one of the highlights.
I thought that was the obvious soundtrack for any video.
Did you hear them? Oh my God.
We want to do more of these. I'll do my house. I got a lot of eclectic art.
Oh, that'd be
I've got a lot of Bernard. I've got a lot of people in here, you know,
good idea.
I've collected, but it's really lovely to see what each person
and it's
their homes. It's very beautiful, expressive.
It's reflected in their art, I think. I mean, it's their personality and how their personality and art go together. It's kind of neat. Anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out, but thanks
for staying late too. Thanks for staying on.